Hello, hope you are doing good.
Yes, good morning.
How are you, everyone? Did you complete the task that I had given the last time?
Yes, sir, it's a Vinita here.
Tell me.
I have completed the task.
Okay.
And I already emailed.
Can you text in the chat?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah. Let me see. The previous one, which I gave you for withdraw and deposit, and the last one. Both we can text.
First one, sir, and I'm sending the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is the second one, the student course management.
Instead of you write a username 123 password of 123, that you
Okay.
have to read from console. That day also I told you. 123 123 is not a fixed.
Okay, so there is no need to mention the constant values
Yes.
for a username
Yes,
and the
yes.
password.
Yes.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay.
The rest of things are okay.
Okay.
Now let me check the second one. Okay. Yeah, this is okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Others also can follow this. This is perfect. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we're going to discuss some new topics. One second. Okay. So the new topics which we are going to discuss is Jdbc API. What does the Jdbc stand for? Can anyone guess? What is Jdbc stand for?
Java database connectivity.
Yes, exactly. Jdbc stands for Java database connectivity. So far we have written the code. There we didn't connect any database. Without database, we have developed some code. We have developed some applications without a database connectivity. We didn't connect any database. What is the important with the database? Why should I connect a database? Why you are talking about this connectivity part? Is that much important? Yes. Any project that you develop in the real world, you must need to connecting to your database. Without database, the project is incomplete, because finally we need to maintain the data of the user. We need to maintain the data of the systems, right? So we can have a user data, or you can have a customer data, or you can have a any sort of data that is important for us, which you need to maintain on our database. So how you do connect a database? By using Jdbc API, Java database connectivity. By using this Jdbc API, we can connect it to our database. Database will play as a important backend software tools which manage all the information. So through our programming, we will be responsible to connect to those databases. Okay. So when you will start connecting to database, what are the steps that you will be follow? What are the connection steps that you will follow? That we will discuss now. There are 5 steps normally we follow to connect a database. So step 1 is Jdbc connection steps. So step 1 is you need to load Jdbc. What is this Jdbc driver class? Jdbc driver is a intermediate. It is an intermediate. It will helps to connect my application code to the database. So it is a driver. Without driver, I cannot start my journey. I have a vehicle here. I have a 4-wheeler of my car. I have a 4-wheeler of my bus. But without driver, can we move forward? No. The same thing, Jdbc driver is also play a very important role to connecting a database. Jdbc driver, just a minute. Jdbc driver is also play a very important role to connecting database. So different database, we have a different type of database. We have a Oracle database, we have Oracle driver. We have a MySQL database, we have a MySQL driver. We have a DB2 database, we have a DB2 driver. All the database, they have their own specification driver classes, which we need to load in our project for that to connect to database. Without a driver, we cannot connect to database. Step 2, once the driver is loaded, we can connect to database through the connection object. So connect database to connection object. The connection object, we are responsible to connect the database through connection object. We are responsible to connect the database through the database URL, database username, password, all the stuff that you will be writing. Now, what is the step 3? Once I establish the connectivity, database, what is the next step? I'm going to sending my SQL queries, whatever the SQL query. What is the SQL? SQL is structured query languages. This is the languages which is going to talk to my database, because as a developer, if I want to develop an application, I need to understanding some programming languages, Java or C# or Python, any different programming language you use to develop the application. But the same, if I want to talk to my database, then what language I have to use? SQL, we call as a structure query languages. So all these SQL language that can be sending to my database by using some statement. So we are going to use some statement. Statement object sending the SQL queries to database. Next step. What is the next step here? Next step is execute the queries to complete the transaction. Execute the query to complete the transaction. What do you mean by the queries? Queries nothing but SQL queries, whatever I have sending you, how these queries can be executed. I need to execute those SQL queries to complete the transaction. For example, I want to insert some data, I want to update some data, I want to delete some data, right? So those queries can be executed by using various execute method. So we use different execute method, depends on either it is a select operation or non-select operation. So we use execute method, execute update method, execute queries method, execute batch method. There are many different types of execute method we use to complete the transaction. Step 5. Step 5 is the last step. That is close the connection object. The connection object. Whatever the connection I have opened, right? In the step 2. Once my task is completed, I'm going to close the connection object. Make my resource safe. To close the connection object. So step 1, load the Jdbc driver class. Step connecting the database to connection object means we are establishing the connection. We establish the connection through connection object. Statement 3, statement object to sending the SQL queries to the database. Step 4 is execute the queries to complete the transaction. Step 5 is close the connection object. The same thing that you will see step by step into the programming stuff, and the same thing that I will ask you to work on. So let's go to my Eclipse ID, and now I'm going to. So this is what we have discussed so far, right? Now I'm going to create a new class. And the class name is database connection, and my package name is DB connection. DB connection here. Main method finish. Yes, this is my class, and I'm going to write the same step by step. So first step, load loader driver class. So I have already installed my Oracle database. I'm going to connect it to my Oracle database here. So what I need to do, obviously I need to load my Oracle driver class. So how can I load? By using class or name. See, dot Oracle driver. This is the class that I'm going to Oracle driver I'm going to use. Oracle driver class I'm going to use, and this is the package. So this class is belongs to these packages, Oracle JDBC driver packages. Okay. Now, this for name method is going to throw an exception here, and you need to handle it. Unhandled exception type a class not found exception. This means this for name method is going to throwing an exception, and you need to handle it. What is the exception it is going to throw? Class not found exception, right? We already discussed this one in the last week. If any method is going to throw an exception, and this for name method is an inbuilt method, it is going to throw a class not found exception. So I need to handle either by throws declaration or by surrounding try and catch. And I'm going to use surrounding try and catch. Okay. Next step. Next chapter. Step two. What is the step two? Establish the connectivity. How you will connecting to database through your connection object. Driver manager get connection. Driver manager get connection. So driver manager is a class, and this class have a method, static method called get connection method. And this connection is an interface. That means the get connection method, return type is a connection object. The get connection method, its return type is a connection here. And this get connection method will take some arguments. What are that? Connection URL, username, password, all the stuff here. One important thing you need to remember, whatever the inbuilt class interface method that you are going to use in Jdbc API to connecting database, you must need to import java.sql packages. Okay, connection, statement, execute, whatever that we talked about before, all these are belongs to the SQL packages. So we can see here already one classes is imported from the java.sql, right? So same thing, I'm going to import this connection interface also. See, java.sql connection, java.sql driver names. No matter whatever the database that you are going to connect, Oracle, MySQL, whatever it may be, you must need to import this packages, SQL packages. So, okay. So I'm going to write here parameter JDBC colon Oracle colon localhost. I will tell you what exactly that. And this get connection method also throwing an exception, one unhandled exception. So I want to add in my existing catch class. Add exception in the existing catch class. I have already catch class, so I'm going to add the same here. So SQL exception. Okay. So if anything goes wrong, then there are two exceptions is going to handle by catch, either class not found exception or SQL exception. Same reference I'm using for both the exception class. Okay. Now let's come to the get connection method. I already told you the get connection method is a static method from the driver manager class. Its return type, the get connection method return type is what? Connection. Okay. So here JDBC is nothing but the driver which we already loaded. The same JDBC driver we are going to use to connecting the Oracle database. Thin is the types of driver name. Thin is the inbuilt driver name. Okay, thin. That means I'm using JDBC thin driver for Oracle database to connect with it. If I will use MySQL, I will use MySQL driver. In place of Oracle driver, I will use MySQL here. At localhost, this is the database URL. XE is a database name. Version, this is the version name. And localhost 1521 is a inbuilt. Not only in my system, even if you execute in your system also, everything will be same except this username and password. So while I installed Oracle database in my system, so I have given this password. And system is a default user account. If you are going to connect to some other user account, then you have to use your customized user account. But I'm using the default user account of the Oracle, which is called system. And this is the password for this. Okay. Now I can show you logging this username password also. Maybe you'll get a clear understanding. So let me go to my Oracle database. So it's going to open in the browser UI. Up to Oracle 9.9 versions, the older versions, it is used to open through the console. But from Oracle 10G, the company has changed its console from console platform to UI platform. So you can see here, this is my IP address and this is the service port number 8080 and this is the URL. Now finally it is going to land it in my login page. So I can give username as system and the password same I can give it. What I've given here, same thing, whatever I have given the username and password. Now click on login. So finally, I have connected to my system user account. Now I hope you got the clear picture. System and the password that I've given to connect it to my system user account. That is step 2. Now I'm going to write here test whether it is connected or not. So if the connection is not equal to if the connection is not equal to null, I want to say it is connected. It was connected successfully. Goes down. Message. Wrong. Something there. Okay. Up to this is clear. Now that means here if let's say username password is wrong or maybe the driver URL is something wrong, then database connection will not be happen here. Then what I should get here, something went wrong. If everything is corrected, then what will happen? I will get the DB connected successfully connected to the system user account. Okay, up to step 2 is clear. Now I will say step 3. What is the step 3? Step 3, what we have discussed, sending the SQL queries. So how can I send the SQL queries? There are various interface you use, statement object you use, prepare statement object you use, callable statement you use. There are many different ways that you use to sending the SQL queries. But I'm going to use the basic interface that is called statement. Statement is equal to connection dot statement. That means this connection, this statement object is sending all the SQL queries to the connection object to the particular database user account. Okay, so let me import this statement object, the util packages. Yes, Java.SQL statement. Yeah. I load the driver. Now I establish the connectivity. I'm going to check whether it's connected or not, and then I'm going to say sending the SQL queries here. Okay. Now, step 4. Step 4. I'm going to execute these queries. I'm going to execute this query. First of all, I need to write the query, right? Yes or not? First of all, I need to write the query. Then only I can execute. So step 4, I'm going to write some queries that need to be executed. So I'm going to say string query create table. This is a query language, a SQL query, not a Java language. Create table, and my table name is something called as Java session. Inside the table, I need to write. So I need to create some column. So my first column is session ID. Store a number data type and the length is called to 5. Second column, I want to write a topics. Topics. Worker. Worker means it is going to allow to store the string type of data, number or character, anything that is including. And the length will be say 15. Yeah. Create table name, Java session. There are two columns, session ID and topics. In which session ID, what the topics has completed. So session ID will be a number, the length will be 5 digit. Second column will be the topics. The data types will be worker, the length will be 15 here. Okay. Next step. I'm going to execute this query. How can I execute? Through the statement only. So I will say obj dot. This execute method will return Boolean types, true or false. If the query is okay, if the table is created, it returns true. If not, it returns false. Okay. So which I'm going to execute the query. I'm going to execute the query here. Next, the query is going to execute. Next, what I'm going to do, last step, close the connection object. So I will say fiber. That is perfect. Means my resource is set. No one can use my database. No one can use my tables. I have closed my connection. There is no resource is going to leakage. Okay. Program is okay, fine. But now what I need to do, the next step is I need to load this driver class. Without loading the driver class, I will get an error. If you want me to test, no problem. Let me run this code. Class not found exception. That means my program has not find out any driver class called Oracle driver. My program is unable to find out Oracle driver, Oracle.jdbc driver.oracle driver here. Class not found exception. It means my program is not registered any Oracle driver. My program is not find out any Oracle driver classes. So it is not going to load it here. What I need to do here, we need to add this. We need to add this library. We need to add this library, Oracle driver, into my project folder. So how can I do? Let's go to the project. Right click on the project. This is very important. If you will not do this, your program will not be executed. So build path and go to configure build path. Right click on the project build path, configure build path. You will go to this window. Here you will have a build path option. You go to the library. Okay. And here you need to select the add external jar. And you need to add this OJDBC folder. You might be thinking you are getting this OJDBC folder in your machine, but in our machine, how it will work? Either you can download OJDBC 14 from the internet, or else once you will install the Oracle on your machine, you will get this library in default. Let me show you here. I have already installed Oracle database. So this is the folder Oracle XC that you will get in the C drive. So I'll go to Oracle XC, application, Oracle, product, server, and I have a JDBC. And this is the library. Now let me select this OJDBC folder, which is the library. Now open, apply, okay. Now I will show you that reference library which is added here, OJDBC folder. Now where is that Oracle driver class? I want to whether the package is there or not. No problem. Let's go to this Oracle.jdbc driver. This is what the package is, yes or not. From this package I am going to use Oracle driver. Let me show you the class. See, look at this. This is the class only I'm going to load here. And this class is not found out in my program. That's the reason I got error. But this Oracle driver is not registered. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to execute this code. Let's see whether I'm getting the same error or the error is fixed out. Let's run it. DB connected successfully. Okay, DB connected successfully. Fine. I'm supposed to write one statement also. Table is also created. But anyhow, let me check whether the table is created or not. DB connection successfully means table also should be created. What is the table name? Java session. Java session is my table name. So I have already logged in before. Yes, it is already there. And I can search in the object browser whether the table is there or not. So my table name is Java session. Yes, it is there. That means successfully we have connected to the database and the table is also created. There is no data, but table is created. And in that table, I have two columns, session ID and the topics. Session ID and the topics. There are two tables is created, right? So this is the length 5 and this is the length 15 here, number and varchar. Clear? Now what I'm going to do is, so successfully have proved that yes, we can connect it to the database, and the table is also created. Without creating the table in the database side, the same table we have created successfully from the application code to my database table. That's fine here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert some record in the table. I'm going to add some record. Okay. What I need to do, I need to write another queries. So let's put this query in the comment line because table is already created. So I don't want to execute the same code again. I'm going to do the record has to be inserted. So I'm going to say string query, say insert query, say insert equal to into Java session values. What is the values? My session ID is the 1. Okay, session ID is the 1, and the topics is JDBC topics. After we should allow only single location. Now, insert into Java session values. First values is the 1 for session ID. Second values is the JDBC topics. So what you need to do now, we need to close this. Okay, double quotation closed and semicolon to terminate the line. What I need to do, same thing. Okay, data execute. What is the query? Write a statement here that what is inserted. Something, some record is inserted here. Let's run this code. Yes, record is inserted. Data was connected successfully. Record also inserted. Let's go back and check whether it is inserted or not. What I need to do, I need to click on the data. Yes, session ID is 1 and JDBC topics is inserted. Interesting, right? So through our program, my program is somewhere, my database is somewhere. Both are different services, but we have connected successfully from the application. Now I want to update it. Okay, or let's say I want to insert one more record also. So session ID is equal to is the framework is the topics here. Okay, now I want to run it again. Values too long for columns. Oh, here the problem is my length was 15. I'm trying to insert more than 15. That's the problem. No problem. You can just make it only collections. Yes, what is inserted? Let's go back and check. One more session. One more session ID has it inserted. Now I want to update it. I want to insert one and I want to update one. So say it is a spring shingle. Same, I want to create one more. Update. Update. Java session is my table. I want to change the topics here. Okay, I want to change the topics. Set update Java session set topics equal to where session ID equal to 1. That means what I want to do, wherever that ID is equal to 1, I want to make it changes into Spring Boot. Wherever that ID is equal to 1, I want to make it into Spring Boot. Okay, so here in place of execute, I'm going to introduce another method called execute update. I will say dot execute update methods. Which query I want to execute update here? Update. And this execute update method different type is integer. So I will say integer count. Yeah, that is the difference here. Execute and execute update. Execute method return type is a boolean. Execute method execute method return type is a boolean. Execute update method return type is integer. That means whenever this query is going to execute, it will return a count here. That means how many record has updated. Wherever the ID is 1, that only is going to update it. Let's say, for example, I have a session ID more than 1. That means 2 record is going to update it. So I'm going to print that. Just want to know that how many record is updated. Record updated. Okay. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to I'm going to insert one record and I'm going to update one record. So let's see. Let's run this code. See what's going to happen. One record is inserted and the record updated. How many? One. That means it find out only one row. It find out only one row where the ID is equal to 1. Let's go back and check. String is updated and a new record has been inserted. Now, I want to write a queries to view the data, to see the data. So far, what we have discussed here, we called as a non-select operations. Insert, update, delete, anything we call as a non-select operations. Select operation means I want to view the data, and there you cannot use execute and execute update method. There you have to use a execute query methods. So let's go and see. Here, I want to insert one more record. 4. I want to say hypermeter is the course ID, session ID, and topics that we discussed. I'm going to write them. Say topics is equal to ASP. Get the session ID is equal to 2. That means I want to change the topics wherever the session ID is equal to 2. Perfect. Now I want to view the data. I want to see that. I don't want to go back to always to the database to check whether it is inserted updated. I want to see in my console only, right? So I will introduce the result set here, which can get all the set of results. Result set RS equal to obj dot for select operations. We have to use execute query. For non-select operations, execute or execute update, anything that we can use. So I'm going to write my select operation. Select star from Java session. What does it mean? Select star from Java session means I want to get each row. I want to get all the rows from this table. Okay, asterisk means to select everything, sir. To select all the rows that contains into this table. Select star from Java session means I want to select all the rows, whatever is there in my table. Very straightforward, right? Now, here I'm getting an error result set. So what I need to import these packages. Result set java.sql. Perfect. Okay. Now let's go up and see. Yes, result set is also added. All right. Now let's save the code. The problem over here is if I will print the result set, then it will print only one row. But I'm not looking for only one row, right? I want to see all the rows. So then what is the programming approach if I want to do the same task repeatedly? While loops, right? So we can use while loops is the best option to get to iteration of to continue the iteration until to print all the rows from the table, right? So what I can do is while loops I can use, I can say result set dot next. So next method will returns boolean type. That means the cursor is going to forward till it is going to get the next row. When there is no row, next will be written false. When there is a row, next method will return true. So when the next method will return true, then I just want to get each and every column. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say system.out.println. I will say a result set. Let me get the each and every column. So I'm going to say get integer. That is the first column. My first column is into my number, right? So it is a get integer. So first column plus white space. Again, I want to say here results get in the second column also. Get string. Okay, I have a one that is the integer. Second one is a string. Till the while loop is going to be iterating. So the result set is going to get next row, next row, next row. If there is no row, false, nothing is going to be done till the condition is true. Let's continue this. Now let's run the code. So what I can see here, one row is inserted, one row is updated if it is find out, and all the things has to be displayed. So overall, how many rows is going to return? 4 rows. Let's execute this. Connected successfully. The record inserted, yes. One record updated, yes. Which record have updated? This one, and this is the record. I got it. The ID and as well as the session ID and as well as the post name. Makes sense. It's clear for everyone.
Yes, sir.
No, it's not perfectly clear. It's a little bit too fast. And for the connection, I don't know, you connected to Oracle, I think. I don't know how to do that.
Are you following my recording session or not?
I do.
So then where is the question mark? They into not understanding. That is the reason, sir, every time I'm uploading the recorded, so that if you are not following, then you can again revise it through the recorded session. If you're not getting my recorded session, then you can say that yes, I'm not able to catch up. But every time you are getting recorded session, to follow the same, that I'm going to understanding the step by step of the coding stuff. Maybe you might feel in the first time that maybe some fast, but you need to follow the same thing recorded, and you can do the practice. If you have any questions, let's come back as and hear it. So first let me save this code so that you can use for your reference. Yes, okay. So I sent you the steps which you talk about. I sent you the code as well that we have discussed. So just try to download the Oracle database software And in place of Oracle, you can download MySQL also. Okay, anyone you can use. If you want to going through the MySQL database, the process will be something different. So first you just go through the record session for understanding the step by step what I have explained you today, and then you can start download and install the MySQL or Oracle, whatever you can find out. And then if you have any questions, you can ask me. Tomorrow I will show you again that how we can connect it to the MySQL database too, because these are the two databases that we use frequently. So let's talk about how we can work with MySQL tomorrow as well. Clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So no need to go to the practice. First try to go through again the video recorded and download the software as soon as you and install it. Then you can go through the practice next time. It will take some time to understand because it's completely different new what we have discussed so far, right? So because slowly you are moving into the database concept. So now you need to understanding and you need to put your extra effort to understanding and going through the practice. It's not like the same thing, same day we'll talk about the same topic. So things will be changing nowadays, and you need to understanding, you need to download the software and you need to more and more practice. And whatever that Vinitha has shared the code, the previous assignment, almost correct. So you can just follow it and you can do the correction if you have written in the different way. Let's connect tomorrow the same to continue the new topics from the same JDBC API. Bye. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.